All right, we're here in beautiful Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Field. This is my third training camp stop. We got 5 takeaways from Packers camp. My first takeaway, a couple conversations I had earlier in the day with people around here about where Jordan Love is improving. I thought one of the most interesting things I heard was that Jordan has been working on throwing on balance better to his left on outbreaking routes. Now that's football minutia. Why is that interesting? Well, to me, it shows that Jordan Love, now going into his 6th NFL season, is working on the details, and the big picture stuff for the most part has been taken care of. That's allowed him to take better ownership of the offense and ultimately show more leadership over the team. That's something that has to be earned. I think he's earned it, and he earned it through a lot of the inconsistencies of last year. So maybe the Jordan Love we were all expecting to see last year, we see that Jordan Love in 2025. My second takeaway, the wide receiver tight end situation is crowded. At receiver, they got the young guys, Christian Watson. He's going to be probably out until October, coming back off the torn ACL. You have Jaden Reed, you have Dontavian Wicks, you have Romeo Dobbs. You have a couple of rookies too, and Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, both drafted in the top 100. Tight ends, you have Tucker Kraft, you have Luke Musgrave. So what they have there is a lot of good players. What they got to figure out over the next month is, can somebody break out and become a great player in that group for them? Wicks is somebody to keep an eye on if he can develop the downfield part of his game a little bit more. Dobbs has had a very nice offseason. And Tucker Kraft is the one that I think may be capable, most capable of those guys, of becoming a top 5 player at his position. So they need somebody to become a real difference maker in that group. Takeaway number 3, if there's a swing factor for this team, it's probably along the offensive and defensive lines and how much they can improve in those areas. On offense, they paid Aaron Banks to come aboard. They've paid Zach Tom to stay on board. And really the biggest question is what's going to happen at left tackle. Rasheed Walker is going into a contract year. He is the incumbent at the position. Jordan Morgan was drafted as a tackle, has played mostly guard to this point in his career. But when Elkton Jenkins gets healthy and is able to kick Sean Ryan back out to guard, Jordan Morgan's going to get some more looks at left tackle. And then on top of that, you got Anthony Belton, a rookie out of NC State, who they like quite a bit. On the defensive line, the hope is that DeMarcus Covington, the new position coach, can be a difference maker and help get more out of a group that's going to start 4 former first-round picks in Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark, and Lucas Van Ness, and help them get better production than they got a year ago from Gary, Van Ness, and Wyatt, and of course hope that they can get better health for Rashawn Gary. But those 2 areas, offensive line, defensive line, can they be better than a year ago? I think that determines how far this team goes. Takeaway number 4, if there is a hole in the roster, it's a corner. They really like what they've seen from Nate Hobbs thus far. They bring him aboard from the Raiders. He was a nickel corner there. Played about 160 snaps outside last year in Vegas, and the Packers saw enough to believe that he can be a really good outside corner for them. So he's playing there now. They feel like one way or the other, he's going to be a very important piece of that mix. Keyshawn Nixon, another guy coming back as an outside corner. Carrington Valentine will be in the mix as well. But the name to watch might be Bo Melton, who's going into his 4th year. He was part of that crowded receiver room. In the spring, they approached him about a position change. They felt like he had the stop-start, he had the reactive athleticism, he had the long speed to project and play corner. And he was all in from the minute they talked to him about it. They're optimistic that he can be a guy that can make a real difference for him. That's also a position I would watch, just as far as if the Packers are looking for some help, mid-August, late August, some veteran help. It is one area where they could add a veteran player. Finally, takeaway number 5, if there's a breakout guy here to watch, I'd say linebacker Edgerrin Cooper would be that player. Freak athlete. He came out of Texas A&M a year ago as a very, very raw linebacker, but they feel like he can develop into a 3-down player, a guy who can blitz, a guy who can cover, a guy who can be a real chess piece in Jeff Hafley's defense. And the tantalizing thing about it is if you put him in the middle of the defense with Xavier McKinney behind him at safety, there's a million things that Hafley's going to be able to do. So if the defense is going to take a big step, again, you got to fix the corner situation. You got to get more out of the D-line. But those 2 guys, Cooper and McKinney, would be a big part of the equation as well. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Our next stop is in Chicago. We will see you guys from Illinois tomorrow.